The law of detachment. You ever come to consideration that everything that you do, you just have a feeling of anxiety, feeling of fear, feeling of stress for the unnecessary, right? And whenever you feel those sort of emotions, it is because you're too focused on the worst case scenario. You're too focused on what's gonna happen. What if I do this? What if it goes wrong? What if I just waste my time doing this, right? So those feelings, those emotions are just illusions, right? They were just created in our world just because they want to keep us in that state, right? And I will go in much more depth with that. But right now, what I'm trying to talk about is that about the law of detachment. Whenever you feel detached from these emotions, you're never going to feel them ever again because it's up in your mind. Every scenario, every situation that you think is going to happen, on subconsciously you're bringing into reality. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the universe. It's not about the world. It's not about however you do the stuff or the way you impersonate yourself in these situations. It's not about that, right? It's just about how you create these images inside your brain, subconsciously and so easily, right? But let me ask you this: when has been the last time you had ever thought about the best case scenario? When has been the case whenever you have thought about the best image of yourself in that circumstance or in that situation? When? Why has it always been negative? Why has it always been the worst case scenario? Right? So instead of your mind, instead of your situations just being so negative, why not start thinking about the positive? Why not start thinking about the best situations? Am I right? So let me just refer this back into anxiety, stress, and fear. Those emotions are meant to keep you to be and just have a limited belief on what you can do, right? All of us, we are humans. Eventually, we're gonna feel emotions like this. I have felt emotions like that. Trust me, I have. But I come to a realization that whenever I do feel those emotions, what do I get back? What do I receive back? What is rewarded for my case of thinking like that, right? So instead of you thinking about stress, relocate your thought or just make your mind think as how would I be if I was composed or I was calm, right? What about being fear? How would you feel and how would you think the situation would go if you were the strongest person there and full of confidence, knowing that you have a strong spirit, strong energy around you? Nobody can detach you from anything, right? And anxiety, always push yourself through. No matter any negative thought or no matter anything negative, you're gonna push through by your positive thoughts, and that's what you actually want, right? So, what I'm trying to say is that relocate your thoughts. Have time for yourself. Have a spacious time where you just think to yourself and delete and break those negative thoughts automatically. Delete those negative thoughts. Delete the worst case scenario and replace it into the best case scenario. And have self trust. Self trust creates detachment from all these emotions. Because you're not trusting on the worst case scenario no more. You're not trusting on those emotions. You're not trusting on the way you feel. You're trusting on yourself. On yourself, right? So I just want to relocate on depleting the stress and anxiety from that because those emotions are not real. Those emotions are created in your own mind and were impersonated by the way you grew up or the way you experience those things. And at the end of the day, it's just a learning curve for you, right? You're watching this video, you're gonna want to learn how to change that. So let me tell you this: every time you have a negative thought, what are you gonna start doing now? If you were to have a negative thought, what will you start doing now? Break them, right? Switch it to a positive thought. Now your positive thought was overturned by a negative thought, because our negative thoughts is all we always gonna have negative thoughts no matter what, right? But it's always important for you to switch that negative thought now into a positive thought, right? And once you start getting the hang of this, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not easy. It's not easy, right? I'm telling you this because I'm speaking from our perspective, but I'm telling you how it is. I'm telling you how real it could be, right? It's not gonna be easy, but it's also not complicated. Do not fear on anything. Do not stress. Do not feel anxiety. Because whatever you put yourself into, it was because it was meant to happen, right? It was meant to happen. No matter what, that thing was meant to happen. So keep doing it, right? Keep doing it. But the intention is going to be different. The intention is not going to be the worst case scenario. It's going to be the best case scenario. The intention is that you don't care what people are going to say about you. You're going to keep doing it. The intention is that no matter what your mind is telling you behind the background, you're going to focus on what's going on in reality, right? And you're going to create your own best reality. Not your own subconscious mind, your own reality, right? So, how can I stop feeding from these negative thoughts? How can I stop my negative thoughts? So basically, you have to start changing your self-concept. Your self-concept is the way your brain and the way you see yourself in your own world, right? If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have confidence in yourself, that is exactly why your brain is giving you negative thoughts, because your brain is thinking, oh my gosh, myself, I'm not confident. So whatever I'm gonna do, I just automatically know that I'm a loser, I'm a trash, right? Or whatever you want to call yourself, right? So start reminding yourself on who you want to be and who you are. Start telling yourself these things that I am the best, right? I believe I'm the best at what I do. Nobody can tell me what I can do because I am the best ever, right? You start like relieving from all this like negative stuff and now programming your mindset to be the best case that can be, right? And this can be in general in anything. It can be sports, gym, talking to females, talking to business people, becoming better, and just in general, like just in general in life, concepts in life, right? So the whole point is just for you to actually change your whole self concept and detach yourself from all these negative thoughts and these emotions. These emotions are just to feed off from much more malice emotions and just keep feeding from you every day. And that's why a lot of people tend to be weak. That's why a lot of people tend to not believe in themselves, right? Because they have never seen the bright side. They have never seen the bright side. They have never put themselves in the shoes to be the best person they can be, right? So when you're doing all this stuff, when you're doing your when you're doing journey, right? When you're on your pathway, when you're doing the stuff, your purpose, your why, you don't have to expect nothing. Just keep doing it and assume the fact that everything that's you're doing right now is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be returned to you. And keep in mind that positive thoughts are gonna bring you on the way you give out, give out, and you will receive back. Give out the best case scenario. Give out the best positive thought, and you will receive the best positive outcome, the best positive thoughts, right? But yeah, that's just the law of detachment. So simple. Literally, that's how simple it is. You're not switching your whole habit, right? You're not switching doing anything. You don't have to switch anybody's life. The only thing that you have to switch is just your perspective. The idea how you see these emotions, the ideas of how you see your goals. Don't oversee your goals as you can never achieve them. If you give too much power into your goals or whatever you want to do, the power of you beating it is going to be much more harder than what you actually think it is. You know? And that simply just comes from what you've heard, from what other people say, from how you live your life, from how you grew up, from what you've been learning, all these limited beliefs, and it's okay. I learned from that as well. But you know what I did? I didn't accept it. I knew it was better. I knew I could do more. I knew my potential was there. So that I didn't accept it. I accepted the fact that I can fulfill that, but nothing is gonna stop me. Spin Fredo Saga. Let's leave the dimension expansion with some new game. Let's input it into the real world to be better and to be the best persons we can be. But yeah, man, check out my bio for my other medias and just connect with me, learn more from me, and get the wisdom from me. Let's go.